Let's talk about I Know Why the Caged Bird Kills. This episode gets its title from the Ivan Angelou biography, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, which in turn gets its name from a stanza of a different poem. I know why the caged bird sings, ah me, when his wing is bruised and his bosom sore, when he beats his bar and he would be free. It is not a carol of joy or glee, but a prayer that he sends from his heart's deep core, but a plea that upward to heaven he flings. I know why the caged bird sings. So once again, the writers of this show are showing how clever they are. How many people watching a cartoon on Adult Swim read Myra Angelou? It really does relate with the themes of the episode. The biography talks about children being taken from family to live with relatives and how they struggle with identity, which is something that Hank struggles with through this entire show, even the movie. It's sort of resolved, but I think Hank still needs a lot of therapy after what he's been through. It also introduces a few reoccurring characters that we see later on throughout this series. Dr. Henry Killinger, who probably my favourite sort of side character, minor character the show has to offer. His Magic Murder Man, the Master, and Myra, who I never really liked. So let's jump into this. The Monarch launches his greatest attack ever on a secret venture facility, or so he thinks, learning from 21 that this is in fact his accountant's office.
This isn't the secret venture compound, it's your accountant's office.
Though he still wants to steal the QuickTime footage to put on his own homepage.
Get that security tape! I want a QuickTime of my minty fresh entrance posted on my homepage!
Orpheus is again being a loving, normal person.
Yes, you are!
And Doc knocks on his door, being haunted by a Japanese ghost, the Oni.
How was Japan? Fragile. Hold a hunch.
Orpheus tries to get rid of it, but he fails his first attempt because he may be a master necromancer, but even he's not perfect.
One demon extraction coming right up.
He heads off to his daughter's closet.
I must consult a higher power. Wait here while I go to my daughter's closet
to speak with some mysterious figure, and 21 proposes a whole bunch of new weaponry for the Fluttering Horde to use in their next assault on Venture.
The Petablade! 2 razor-sharp blades menacingly attached to, not the end of a skinny arm, but the end of a long, fat leg.
And the Monarch sort of calls him an idiot, saying this wasn't a weaponry failure, but it was in fact a failure of planning.
We raided the wrong address! We need real planning, not... What, figure skates?
Because they are missing a certain Dr. Something.
I know I'm not Dr. Girl.
Do not say her name!
Who was sort of the brains behind the Monarch's operation. Enter Killinger.
Number Killinger. Dr. Henry Killinger. And this is my magic murder bag.
Dean is the worst driver I have ever seen, and I have seen some pretty poor drivers, especially around me. It's a lot of old people.
Dino, you are like the worst wheelman ever.
He has managed to hit every single cone on the training course and is going about 1 mile an hour. But the boys spot a crashed car and an unconscious lady, so they set about investigating.
I didn't know we got that much traffic inside the compound.
And the lady knocks the boys out. They may want to be investigators, but their own safety is not something they're very good at protecting.
You're not supposed to... See?
Orpheus meets the Master.
Orpheus, you're gonna love this.
He's in the form of a horse. Teach Orpheus a lesson about biting off more than you can chew.
I'm Catherine the Great's horse, to teach you a lesson about biting off more than you can chew.
With the wonderful Miss Manyface.
Miss Manyface will be playing the part of Catherine.
Who has taken on the role of Catherine the Great, which, you know, famously fucked by horse. But I had a friend who has done a history doctorate that told me that's not true. It is in fact a thing because she was married to a German, and Germans had big penises, question mark. The Monarch starts to show off his cocoon and all of his items and belongings and whatever to Killinger.
Pretty sweet, huh? And this floor totally lights up.
And 21 and 24 bitch as per normal because the Black Guard, these new super elite Monarch henchmen, have stolen the Tekken 3 machine.
Those new Blackguard dicks took the Tekken 3 game out of the wound.
Brock starts looking for the boys.
Hey, you seen the boys? They were supposed to be practicing for their road test.
And Doc and Orpheus are following the trail of this Oni and seeing where it wants to take Doc.
Orpheus is making me follow that magic head thing I told you about.
And Doc, being the super genius he is, decides to trap it in the boot of the car.
What are you doing? That wasn't so hard, was it?
Which was an awful idea, as the Oni then drags him along the road. Before they drive off to some unknown locale.
I suggest we get in and see where it takes us.
In a meeting within the cocoon, 21 and 24 decide to challenge Henry Killinger's authority.
Is in bad need
The
of...
cocoon's fine. I think the problem is you.
He's right. Yeah.
Not sure why the monarch lets them, talk out of turn and has meetings with his henchmen, but desperate times without Dr. Girlfriend. After 21 mocks Killinger's baby-bearing hips,
Huge baby-bearing hips, and he starts changing everything.
24 is dragged off by the Black Guard.
Guards, bring him to the chamber of 1,000 torments.
Killinger says he will deal with him alone.
Give me a moment alone with Mr. Henchman number 24.
Doc and Orpheus arrive at some cheap motel. Doc accuses Orpheus of trying to sleep with him.
Wait, I know what you're doing. You're trying to get me in the sack.
With his big gay cloak. I've been thinking about getting one myself. But, I think Orpheus can do better than Doc, or at least I hope he can.
Tights, the jewelry, always tagging along.
Oh, let me get my big gay cloak and I'll join you.
While Brock and Helper try and track down the boys, following their wrist communicator watches.
Hey! Jock rock my ass. Let's...
And they argue about Led Zeppelin. And I love this little bit of music, and it's a wholly original piece made by Doc Hammer that is just not available anywhere on the internet except in this episode, I think.
It's a metaphor. They wrote about a lot of other stuff. Why am I arguing with the robot?
And Brock is, probably in the right about Led Zeppelin, but not the time for that argument. They arrive at the boys' tracker watches, only to find they've been put out in a large bin. As Brock digs through it, he sees them, receives a cryptic message, and the bin explodes.
Oh crap, Myra's back.
Because Myra's back. And we still don't know who this is at this. We don't know who this is, but some sort of deranged supervillain, mastermind criminal at this point in the episode. And I think in the original episode, that's where the ad break is. You see Brock explode. Pretty good cliffhanger-y middle point. The boys have been kidnapped together. They're creeped out by some strange woman singing nursery rhymes, but this isn't a completely, wholly unusual situation for them to find themselves in.
Mama's gonna buy you a
Okay, Dad. He's creepy.
She enters the room and introduces herself as the boy's mother.
You're with Mommy!
And it's a very strange, embarrassing way.
Naughty puggy danky, intimidating sausages.
21 sneaks into 24's room, try and bring him his anal suppository medication, up the butt meds.
But you have to administer it to him. It's a suppository. It's up the butt medicine.
24 was probably masturbating.
I don't knock or anything. It's not like I live with 80 guys and no women.
And says that Killinger really isn't that bad. He cured him of his herpes.
He's amazing. He cured my herpes.
Bit like a evil Mr. Belvedere.
He's great. He's like Mr. Belvedere.
21 talks about honor, which, at this point in the series, really isn't his thing.
He knows nothing about honor or living by the sword.
He does follow guild code later, like pretty much to the T. He's like maybe not a good guy. Well, he goes pretty good at following guild code until season 6 when he starts taking out guild members willy-nilly. 24 tells 21 that Killinger could probably help him with whatever his problem is.
I bet he could even help you with your problems.
Hopefully it's nothing too deviant-y for TV. Probably erectile dysfunction. I don't know if we ever see 21 sleep with a woman throughout this whole show, even in the latest when he got fit and buff. Dean makes it clear that Myra can't be their mother.
You're not our mom! You just can't be!
And Myra quotes Star Wars back at them because you search your feelings. That's how everyone knows everything. It's just science, Dean. Thing.
Search your feelings, boys. You know it to be true.
Hank, on the other hand, thinks this woman can't be their mum because what kind of mother kidnaps their own children?
Then why you got us tied up, huh? People only do that when they want to kill us.
The only people that kidnap and tie them up are Sergeant Hatred, who, touches them inappropriately.
Or touch us inappropriately.
What? When? That never
Sergeant Hatred?
Season 2 introduced the idea of Hatred, made him a real weirdo, and then he just gets worse throughout the series. I can't believe Hatred made it on as the main character. 21 decides to take on Killinger on his own. He sneaks into his room, attacks with the silly string, tries to steal the magic murder bag, fails. Semper Fidelis Tyrannosaurus.
Semper Fidelis Tyrannosaurus!
You said, always faithful, terrible lizard.
Always faithful, terrible lizard. 21 really didn't know what he was doing this early in the show, but he got better. So his final plan, but he does decide to make some decisions later that may have been pre-planned by Killinger, but weren't awful choices. Orpheus brings in snacks to the hotel room where him and Rusty are staying, and they joke awkwardly about what Doc said before.
Just stay on your side of the room. Tiger!
We're talking about renting a skin flick together, which is even weirder than everything else to me. I could not imagine doing that with a friend or someone I sort of knew and lived on my property.
You want to go halvesies on a skin flick?
Okay.
24 is now a blackguard, and he let 21 go.
God, you're 24!
Duh.
After they discussed the fact that 21 killed mostly Mr. Mittens, which is the Monarch's cat, and I can't believe he wasn't sort of flayed alive for that one.
Forget about the time you passed out on the Monarch's cat.
21 tries his sort of hypnosis as well, which is...
You're extremely relaxed and you feel the urge to let me go.
Again, he gets better throughout this show. Myra tells the boys how she met Rusty, her first job from OSI after being a... Well, she doesn't mention this now, but being a gladiator on the TV show, American Gladiators.
He was my first job. Fresh out of the OSI Academy.
You know, and I get it, spending 24 hours fighting the Monarch, defending someone.
Spend 24 hours a day with him.
And kind of doing Brock's job would probably make you like someone. I mean, Brock even sort of likes Rusty at this point in the series. And after saving Rusty's life and taking a bullet for him, they have sex in his car, which Myra says is what led to the boys. Talking of old cars, 21 has managed to get his hands back on the Nissan Sandra from that whore, so good for them.
And you're our last hope. Oh yeah, this.
And he is set off to get the only person who can help, the real number 2, Dr. Girlfriend.
Yes, I remember Spinner.
Who clearly wants 21 to shut up.
Just drive.
At the same time, Brock has been saved by Helper, and they use Helper's helicopter blades to head to Doc's location, following the tire tracks using infrared locators.
You ain't much in a fight, but you're good at rescue and recovery.
And it's at this point that Helper quotes Myra Angelou, which is probably about the caged bird, mental stuff, family.
That's beautiful, Helper.
Brock makes it clear that's not everyone, and that this is a crazy woman.
Well, I don't think Maya Angelou was talking about this chick.
Brock gets very protective over the boys and says he will put her down permanently if she's hurt them.
And if she hurts those boys again, I'm gonna take her down permanently this time.
Brock does love those boys. Myra tells the boys that they would be 19, and the boys seem very confused because obviously they think they're 16.
You're 19 years!
We're 16.
While Myra probably wasn't right about their ages, because we know from the film that Rusty actually gave birth to children on his own later on. She's probably closer to their real ages than the boys think they are. As a first-time viewer, maybe this is the boy's mother. I know till the movie, people were mixed feelings on it. I never believed it. And we know that the real person that loves the boys and their mother is Doc. And this is where Myra tries to feed the boys her breast milk, along with her cats their breast milk, so...
They're hungry. Oh, my babies! You must be starved too!
She's real crazy, and they might be a bit crazy, but the boys aren't that bad. Orpheus tries to check out of the motel and ends up in a fight with Myra. 21 touches Doc Girlfriend's boob.
Whoa. Oh, dude, I just copped an accidental feel.
As she reveals a secret set of lasers and shows us that she is the brains, the brawn, and the badassness behind the fluttering horde.
Wow.
She dodges lasers, which I think's a reference to entrapment with whoever and whoever.
On point.
Because obviously everything in this show is basically a big reference to something. She takes out all of the blackguards. 21 reveals he's got a crush on her.
Yeah, I am totally falling for her.
Which I think is the first time we see this in the show, which, you know, grow and grows and grows and grows until 21 gets over it. Like, out of everyone in this show, he really had character growth, like, almost like a real person's level. And we see how much the Monarch must need her. She isn't just a yes man, but a badass in her own right. And 21 is an embarrassing Star Wars nerd.
Well, thank the maker, I've been holding that back for like 2 hours.
Myra now kidnaps Doc and brings the boys into the back of her car.
Daddy! Hello, boys. I see you've met Myra.
Helper and Brock drop down into the car park.
Stay close.
We've seen how scary Myra is. Helper has no weapons at this point in the episode because, you know, Rusty probably did something off camera because he had weapons last time we saw him.
Any of your weapons still work? Alright, well, keep your helicopter blades out and wave your arms around. Squeal a lot.
But Myra gets to drop on them, knocking Brock down with her car. The most badass moment in this show, probably most animations, happens here. Myra drives like Dean, 10 and 2.
10 and 2, 10 and 2.
Brock walks out into the middle of the road like a badass ninja.
We're doing this.
No fear. Impact. The cool action line.
Everyone okay?
Everyone except Mommy.
What is not to love? You cannot get more action hero than Brock fucking Sampson. Like poetry, it rhymes. Myra gives us a callback to Catherine the Grey.
I feel like Catherine the Great.
Orpheus is enjoying the company of cats once again.
They smell my cat.
Back over the cocoon, Killinger says that the new plan involves not attacking Venture, which of course the Monarch is completely against.
Wait. So we never attack Venture?
But then he seemed to have some sort of omniscient vision, and the Monarch's very confused.
You should move. You don't want her to land on you when she falls from the ceiling.
As he tells the Monarch, the Doctor Girlfriend is here to rescue him. And from what? Loneliness, of course.
Come to rescue you.
From what?
From loneliness, you silly Billy.
She falls through the roof. Love is meant to be shared.
Love is not private. Love is to be shared.
There's a beautiful moment. Killinger, again, prepared for everything. He really is a Jedi Master in this episode and throughout the series. He Mary Poppins away and says that the Monarchs are going to have children.
And may love show you the way. Say goodbye to all your pretty children for me.
Which I know was a planned idea for season 3, that she would be pregnant, and then throughout the series they'd have kids and we'd see them growing up. I just want to point out that if the show comes back, the Monarch's children and whatever the hell Hank and Dean have become, maybe they've got kids of their own at this point. Do it. Bring it back. Children, Monarch's children, new TV show. Myra has been dealt with. She's mental. Brock always tells the boys they're clones.
Like, you don't remember because you're clone.
And as our stinger, we see Killinger go and collect the Oni and says that sometimes it's not meant to be.
And diplomacy is the cornerstone of love. Sweet love.
So while he may be all-powerful, I think he overestimated Myra and like the idea that the boys needed a healthy thingy relationship. Alright, catch you next time.
So say I'll be the same. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.